Hello, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Does anyone want to give me a hand with this next story? That's right. The world's only gold cast of Mandela's hand could fetch up to $13 million. So the golden hand of Mandela is here and is the subject of this video. A South African businessman now living in Canada wants to sell a unique collection of solid gold items intimately associated to Nelson Mandela, including the world's only gold cast hand belonging to the anti-apartheid revolutionary and political leader who died in 2013. Malcolm Duncan worked alongside Madiba, opening a breast cancer clinic back in 2000. He confesses that, while he didn't like Mandela at first, his passion and honesty ended not only winning him over, but also triggering a deep admiration towards the man who later became South Africa's first black president. So when Mandela's private secretary, Mary Maxidana, told Duncan in 2003 that mining company Harmony Gold was selling solid gold casts of the leader's hand, with half of the proceeds going to Mandela's Children's Foundation, he jumped at the chance. Duncan told Mining.com Harmony planned to make 27 sets, one for each year Mandela was in prison, but he chose to buy what he considered the most important sets, the 1990, which is the year Mandela was released, and the 1964 set, corresponding to the last year of the Rivonia trial, which led to his imprisonment of the politician. And here's a clenched fist, I guess, a version that was done as a clenched fist that symbolizes solidarity and support. And that must be another golden hand there. Very interesting. Duncan said he paid about $360,000 back then for the pieces, with half of the sum supposed to be given to the Mandela's Children's Fund, but that never happened. He said he only learned about it years later when he decided to sell Mandela's hand along with the rest of his memorabilia collection and use the proceeds to set a vehicle parts factory in Calgary, where he lives now. And there it is. There is the hand. The mystery of the missing money thwarted the intended sale. And that was not only the only reason. Duncan also discovered that a certificate of authenticity in the form of a metal plaque supplied by Harmony Gold contained a clear inaccuracy. It stated the casting had been authorized by art publisher Ross Calder in his capacity as trustee of the Nelson Mandela Trust, something that Calder himself clarified later it wasn't the case, as he was the only one who proposed the idea to Madiba. There it is again. Once that was cleared out, and after months of talks between Duncan's lawyers and Harmony Gold, he finally was given a fresh paper certificate of authenticity for his collection. He also learned that the company had destroyed all the remaining castings. As instructed shortly afterwards, Mandela had a fallout with his lawyer, Ismail Ayoub. That made of Duncan the owner of the world's only original gold casting of Mandela's hand. The artifacts were made using around 20 pounds of gold, and the value of the metal alone is estimated to be worth $870,000 at current prices. Duncan estimates they are worth up to $13 million, and he expects to get between $6 and $10 million for the unique collection, which he hopes is acquired by a museum, art gallery, or anyone who respects Mandela's legacy. Very interesting indeed, and fascinating that it's about 20 pounds of gold used for the hand. Look at the detail in that image. Pretty interesting that they were able to capture such a likeness of his hands. And really, it kind of shows you he had pretty fat hands. Look at how big the thumb is. It's kind of crazy. I didn't think that he was a chubby guy. I mean, here he is. But I guess he does have pretty thick hands there. Pretty big hands, and so does this guy. Very interesting indeed. Very fascinating. There it is in the case or certificate of authenticity. Quite fascinating indeed to see that this is the only one that survived. Certainly a piece of history. I don't know of anybody else or any other famous person, politician or otherwise, who has had a gold casting of any parts of their body for any reason. That's interesting indeed. And but apparently Nelson Mandela had multiple times. So now my question is where is this gold fist? Is that a part of the collection, or is because if this thing is saying that this is the only surviving gold cast of Mandela's hand, well, this is Mandela's hand too, in the shape of a gold fist. Where is it? I'd be curious to see, but pretty amazing detailed for sure. Doesn't say anything about that. It's part of a collection. A lot of other memorabilia in the collection there. Doesn't really say what that is, but certainly fascinating indeed. So what are your thoughts about this? Kind of interesting. More gold. Just goes to show you the value of gold and how it's being preserved in such a manner as this. And who knows? We have the statue of George Washington's head, and that was cast from a life mask of George Washington. Boy, wouldn't it be something else to see a golden statue of Washington's head? George Washington. That'd be quite fascinating to see indeed. So there it is. Very, very cool, very interesting news to bring to the community here. Never know. But gold is still making headlines today in this crazy world, especially here in the West. But obviously in Africa, they found this was something that in South Africa, they wanted to find a way to preserve his legacy with this. And it'll be interesting to see what it brings. Will it fetch up to $13 million? The guy thinks he'll get between $6 and $10 million, but who knows? He could bring more. We shall see. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to y'all for watching and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.